On the fake one, they attempted to do that, but it just looks absolutely terrible. It's very sloppy. Today we're gonna be comparing a real and counterfeit Gucci bag, and before I tell you which one is which, I wanna introduce myself. My name's Emily. I'm with myclosetrocks.com, where we sell pre-authenticated designer fashion. I've sold millions of dollars worth of authentic bags, so I think I know one when I see it. While I hope this video is helpful telling you if your bag is real or fake, it is no substitute for getting it professionally authenticated, and I've linked the companies I recommend below. Fake bags have gotten so good, and especially in the last couple years, that it can be really hard to tell if you did get an authentic bag. Some of them are terrible, garbage, whatever. There are some that are literally identical, and you have to get a professional to help you out. In this case, this is kind of more of a terrible fake. So if you guys were able to guess that this one is the fake bag and this one is the authentic one. This particular bag is a Gucci Marmont bag, and there are different styles of this bag, but a lot of the characteristics and the authenticity of the item looks pretty similar to the other styles. First off, I'm gonna start with the hardware, and the hardware can really differ between different bags and styles and things like that, but you're gonna find a pretty heavy hardware on authentic Gucci bags. You'll notice the hardware on the fake bag is a lot more bronze and a darker gold than the real one, which is a light gold. Also, the hardware on the real one is a lot heavier than the fake one, and the fake one feels very flimsy and light. If we look at the underside of the logo, it will have 2 screws keeping it in place. And the screws on the fake one right here, you can see has a line going through it, and the real one is just smooth. So Gucci loves to hide their screws to make it more luxe, so this is definitely them cutting corners on the fake bag. The push lock hardware should be a square, and on the fake bag, this is actually a rectangle with super sharp 90-degree angles. On the real bag, the push lock hardware should be a perfect square with slightly rounded edges, and it should match the color of the hardware on the logo. On the real bag, underneath the zipper, there should be a little Gucci logo engraving, and it's at the widest part of the zipper, and just make sure it's super uniform and not engraved super deep. In the fake bag, the underside of the zipper does have the Gucci logo, but it is super dark and it's engraved fairly deeply. Now that we've gone over the hardware, that's just the tip of the iceberg, so let's look at the stitching. And stitching is pretty hard to tell because, straight stitching is pretty easy to replicate. It's not that hard. So it is in the subtle differences between these bags that I can kind of tell. On the real bag, you're gonna notice some stitching on the back of the strap, and this is true for the entire bag, but the stitching should be very uniform. It should be not super noticeable, so it's kind of a thinner thread, and it's gonna be a perfect square here with the hardware in the middle. On the fake bag, you will notice that the stitching is actually much larger than the real one, and it is very sloppy and not centered correctly all around the edges. Now let's talk about the material that is used inside of Gucci bags. So in the real bag, the material in the interior is canvas, and it's not very soft, but it is super pliable, and it is a little bit imperfect in what it looks like. So it will have slight little specks everywhere, but that's totally normal. In the fake bag, the interior material is super stiff, and it feels like it's plasticky, and it's not soft at all. In terms of the leather that is used to make these bags, it's very easy to get a really nice grained leather. So even on the fake one, it actually feels pretty good and very similar to the real one, which is a little scary, but it is definitely thicker and more pliable. It's a soft grained calfskin. So that is, an expensive material. So they most likely use a different leather on fake ones, unless you get a super fake, which no one wants. There is a debossed logo in the back leather of the bag, and you'll notice that the fake one is super imprinted on the bag, and it's just kind of like bubble lettering, where on the real one is a lot less imprinted, and so it's a little bit more subtle. And you'll also notice that the left side of the U is slightly bigger than the right. This next part is the most important part of authenticating your bag. It is definitely something that every authenticator needs to see if your bag is really authentic. And that is the serial number located inside of the bag. In this case, it is near the zippered back pocket. With the leather tab with the logo, you're gonna wanna make sure that it says Gucci Made in Italy. Now this is the fake one right here, and you're gonna notice that this debossing in the leather is really thick and bubbly, and it just doesn't look very good. It's gonna be a lot more subtle on the real Gucci bag. So if you look right here, you can see Gucci made in Italy, evenly spaced and not sloppy at all. Once you lift up that leather tag, you're going to see a 12-digit code. And this code will have 6 numbers on the top and 6 on the bottom. The top one is going to be the style number. So you notice in this fake one that it actually has the correct style number and matches the authentic one. However, when you go to the next line, this is the batch code or where the bag was made. So don't be alarmed if your serial number matches someone else's bag. It could have just been made in the same place. When you look at the font on the real Gucci bag, you'll notice that it is a serif font and it is very close to Times New Roman. And on the fake one, again, they did this crazy debossing where it's just super bubbly and hard to see. And the tab is super thick. If you'll see that thickness, it's like a big difference. The second serial number is located on a little black tab that is inside the back pocket in this style. Your Gucci bag should have a little black tag, and it might be located in the back zipper pocket or somewhere in a corner that's a little hard to find, but it should have 10 characters on the tab. It should have that U with the thicker side being on the left, and it should have 2 QR codes on the front and on the back. On the fake one, you can see that the Gucci print is a lot more intense. It's wider and it's a little bit more sloppy than the Gucci tag on the other one. Just because it has a QR code does not make it authentic. I have tried so many times to scan these little itty bitty QR codes and I cannot get it to work. So if someone has done this before, let me know. I really want to know. It's definitely essential for authentication. So when you send this in to an authenticator, they want both sides of the tags. They want them super close, but that can be easily duplicated because QR codes are not like unique just to Gucci bags. So just keep that in mind, that just because it has this little black tab doesn't mean it's authentic, but it definitely helps the authenticator tell. And if there is no QR code on this little black tab, then it's definitely not authentic. And I just want to make sure people know there are tons of vintage Gucci bags that do not have the same serial number or the same serial tag as the modern ones do. So don't freak out that vintage ones can have a lot of different characteristics. All right, so let's look at the differences in accessories that come with the bag. When you buy secondhand, sometimes it doesn't come with a dust bag, sometimes it does, sometimes it, So if you do happen to get a dust bag, it's kind of helpful indicating whether your bag is fake or not. And there are so many different types of Gucci dust bags and styles, it's kind of hard to compare all of them at once, but I can give you some pretty good indications of whether your dust bag is real or not. In this case, this bag came with this white satin material dust bag. This authentic Gucci bag is super soft, kind of a satiny, silky material, and it's gonna have this logo on the front, and this is gonna be hand stitched on each corner, so it's not gonna be stitched around, so don't be alarmed if it does lift up in the middle. The drawstrings are gonna be a ribbed ribbon, and they're not gonna be super luxe feeling, but it's definitely gonna have very clean cut angles at the end, and it should not be frayed or uneven on either side. In the interior along the stitching, there may be a tag that has the Gucci logo, and then if we flip that over, it's gonna tell us where that dust bag was made, and it can be made in a variety of countries, and it's also gonna tell you the care instructions on that as well. The stitching on the side should match the color of stitching on the interior of the dust bag seams. Now let's talk about the fake bag dust bag, which is just garbage. You can't even see the logo print. It's so light. This is also a little bit older, but you can barely see the logo. And there are authentic Gucci bags that are brown. So this one in particular was trying to recreate this cotton kind of canvasy material dust bag. And if we look inside, it doesn't have a tab telling us where it was made. And I'm not saying every single dust bag has that tag, but I think the majority of them do. And this one has nothing in it. So that's definitely something to be a little bit concerned about. All right, so we're done talking about the fake bag, thank God. And now we are on to the accessories that come with a real Gucci bag. So These also range from year to year, style to style. Some have like specialty boxes and things like that. But just kind of a generic Gucci box looks like this. In this case, this is a belt box, but you kind of get the idea of what they can look like. Your bag should also come with a little care book and how to care for your bag in a bunch of different languages. It also should come with a post-manufacturing verification card, and it looks like this little guy right here. So that about wraps it up for the differences between these two bags. I have this bag and many other bags on myclosetrocks.com for sale, and they are checked 3 times for authenticity, so you can be certain that you have an authentic bag with a lifetime authenticity guarantee or your money back. Everything on myclosetrocks.com is chosen by me, hand curated by me. It's something that I'm super passionate about, and I love to find a unicorn and give it to people to be able to buy when they can't find it anywhere else. If you like this video, make sure to check out my channel. I've got tons of videos of real or fake comparisons. I also have other bag reviews, so check them out, and thank you so much for watching.